Hey, what's happening, YouTube? It's Tristan Broaden here. And if you want to scale your dropshipping business to 7 figures or even 6 figures, you probably already know that you need a team behind you to do it, because there's a lot of pointless tasks that you need to be doing. And if you try and do it all yourself, you're going to burn out really quickly. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to build out and hire a team of cheap virtual assistants using cheap labor. So I'm going to show you my exact hiring process and the way I hire so you can scale your dropshipping business to 6 to 7 figures and beyond.
Alright, cool. So I made some notes about how to scale to 7 figures using dropshipping VAs. So I'm going to talk through some of these notes, and I'm also going to show you a job posting that I made on Upwork for a VA. Then I'm also going to show you what I use to track the performance of my VAs and work out how much I owe them. And then I'll also talk to you about like some red flags and what you should look out for when hiring. All right, so when you hear me talk about VAs, VA is just short for virtual assistants. And what a virtual assistant is just a contractor. It can be part-time or full-time that you hire from overseas where the labor is cheaper. And a really good example of a place where the labor is cheaper is Philippines. A lot of my VAs come from Philippines. So if you're just starting out in dropshipping and like you haven't even got like your first few sales, I don't recommend going out and hiring a VA as the first thing you do, because you want to start off and you want to learn like every component of a dropshipping business and how everything works. You should never hire for a position that you don't know like what you're hiring for, right? So yeah, I've got here that a VA is not required when you're just starting out. So I also get a lot of questions saying, okay, so when is the best time to go out and hire a virtual assistant and someone to help me out with my store? And my answer to this is that like, you don't really need a VA if you're doing under 10 orders a day, and especially if you have like a limited starting budget. Like once you're getting around 10 orders a day, that's when you want to start going out there and hiring. But if you do have like a big budget to start off with when you're dropshipping and you have a bit of spare cash available, I do recommend going ahead and getting a VA once you learn like every aspect of the dropshipping business, because it means that you can focus your time on revenue producing activities like product research, making ads and scaling ads, right? So there are a few places online to find VAs. So one of the ones that I use the most is Upwork.com. So yeah, this is a place to find like freelancers across the world, and there's a lot of virtual assistants on here. So yeah, about like 90% of my hires have been through Upwork. A place that used to be good that I don't hire from that much anymore is onlinejobs.ph. So this is like a Filipino-based website where you can go and hire Filipino VAs. But another thing to keep in mind is that I always get hit up with messages, especially in Facebook groups, from people saying, hey, I want to work for you and I want to be a VA. And I will never hire through like a Facebook message, because you can't really trust people that come like for you from direct messages, because with like Upwork.com and even onlinejobs.ph, they have employment history and you can see the reviews of other people that those VAs have worked for, right? So I'll never hire just someone messaging me out of the blue, because I don't have any visibility on like their past work history. I don't know if they were a good employee or a bad employee. So I'll never hire from Facebook messages. All right, so my hiring process is a little bit different than other people's. And I've had pretty good success doing it this way. So I'll talk to you about how I do it. So when I go out, so say if you're new to dropshipping, right, and you want to hire your first VA. So what I do is that my first VA hire is usually the most important hire I make, right? So when I go out there and I post like a job for my my virtual assistant, which I'll show you in a second on Upwork, what I want them to take on as that position is I want them to have like a store manager position, right? So I want them to do customer service and dispute handling. So dispute meaning like chargebacks for PayPal and Stripe. And I want also to do fulfillment, so fulfilling orders, and also supplier communication, so talking to suppliers, and then product uploads for testing, right? So when you're getting started, these are like the 3 things that take up the most time. The other things that also take up time are obviously product research, but when you're starting out, you should be doing that yourself and outsourcing that later, like once you've found a winner or once you've found a couple winners, because you need to be able to have experience picking winners. So I've got here then, once I have consistent sales on the store, I'll go and hire more VAs like as needed, right? So sometimes like the customer service, right, can take up a lot of time. So I'll go out there and hire an extra customer service agent. Or if we're testing a lot of products, I'll go out there and hire another person to upload products consistently, right? And the other hires you can make for VAs as well, I've listed out here: a product researcher, video editor, a Facebook ads tester, and an email marketer. And another thing is that these positions don't have to be separate. Like my product researcher also does email marketing, so you can mix them up a bit, and it's better with your VAs if you give them sort of like more roles and more responsibility and not just have one role, because they love when they get more work and they're able to get paid more as well. So let me show you a job posting for for that first position. So for the first hire, right? So let me go into this. So I'll just tell you some points from this. So usually I'll look for a minimum of 1 year experience. Then I'll list out the tasks that I want them to do. So customer support, fulfillment, and Shopify store order management, right? So just like uploading products and setting up products from scratch. I want the applicant, they must speak fluent English, both verbal and written. I'll usually have a Skype call with a VA like once every like 2 weeks just to see how they're going. And then another thing is that I also say the applicant has to be available for at least 5 hours a day. So I've had in the past where I've hired someone really good, but they haven't had enough time to like work on like my projects, and you have to let them go. So I want to make that clear, like when I post it. And then I also want to say down here that I'm looking for someone to take ownership of the entire Shopify store, as it's the first hire, and I want them to be doing a lot of stuff, right? And the reason that I want them to take ownership of the Shopify store as well is because when I go and hire new people, I want those new VAs to report to that store manager, right? Like I want them to like basically move up and become a store manager, so I don't have to manage the store anymore. So all the customer service reps and the other VAs on the store can just report to that one store manager. I also always ask these 3 screening questions. So I don't actually put these in the job post, right? But like you can put screening, actually I do put screening questions in. I put these 2 here, but these aren't like my proper 2 screening questions. So I say, have you used a customer support ticket system before? So I'll talk about that later. And are you available to work 5 hours a day, right? These are pretty simple screening questions, but these screening questions I ask through message when they've come back to me, right? So like once they apply for the job and the applicant has potential, right? So the first one, I get them to send a picture of their workstation. So like wherever they're working, I just say, go and take a picture of your phone and upload it, right? And like, I usually want to see like a clean workspace with like a laptop that's not, like 10 years old. Like I just want to see that they have a clean workspace and that their computer is like up to date and can be used to work, right? The second thing I do, this is really important, is I send them an internet speed test. So I just go to speedtest.net. I send that to them. They take the speed test. And like what I'm looking for here is like a fast internet connection. Like if they have a slow internet connection, it's just gonna slow them down. So ideally I want to look for a download speed of at least 20 megabytes per second and also an upload speed of at least like 5 megabytes per second, right? And then I also say, in the screening questions, tell me about your experience working with Shopify stores, because I want them just to type out maybe 5 or 6 sentences with their past experience. And when I do that, I want to look and see if there's any grammatical or any spelling errors. If I see grammatical and spelling errors when they're chatting to me, it's just a no. I just don't want to employ someone when I see mistakes when they're talking to me and they're trying to get a job, because that's when their like performance should be the highest, when they're trying to get employed. And yeah, that's a massive red flag if you see spelling mistakes when they're speaking to you. So another thing is that I'll usually hire 2 or 3 people for a trial to start off with, right? And I'll give them tasks and I'll just see how quickly they do it and what they're like communicating back to me about those tasks. It's never good to just go like all in on one. You should always like test like maybe 2 or 3 and see how they go. And then hourly rate. You got to make sure that you're always paying on time on your VAs. Like even if you're a day late, it's like really demotivating for them, and you want to make sure that you pay them consistently on time. In terms of like how much you should be paying for them, this differs depending on like the tasks that you require them to do. Like video editors will obviously cost a lot more than like fulfillment or like product uploads, right? So for that position that I hire first, like that first store manager, I usually pay between $5 to $6. And then once they have more responsibility and they sort of become like a store manager, I'll then look to increase that as well. I've got here first hire will be usually between $5 to $6. And another thing that they really appreciate is that if you pay them directly through PayPal, their fees are less, right? So if you hire them on Upwork, Upwork takes a 20% commission fee, and then Upwork just increased their transaction fees for another 3% on top of that as well. So if you pay them through Upwork, they still get there's still a transaction fee, but it's a lot less than Upwork, and they'll appreciate that. Another way to pay is TransferWise, which is actually cheaper than PayPal if you pay out directly to their bank account. But that does take a bit of time, but yeah, it's always a good thing to just say, do you want to get paid through PayPal or TransferWise? So how to train them. So the best thing that you can do to train a VA is use Loom Chrome extension, right? So just Google Loom Chrome extension. And what this does, right, is that it's just a video screen recorder. It puts an extension up here. And then when you want to record something, you just start recording, and it will record everything you do on your computer, and then it will save it to the cloud. And all you got to do is send the VA a link once you've done that. And then the apps that I use to track the performance of the VAs. So the first one is Hubstaff. So we use Hubstaff to track time, so how much time they're spending, and also what tasks they're on. So like, say if a VA is doing customer service, they'll have a project called customer service. And then say if someone is doing product uploads, they'll have a project called product uploads. And then you can see it each week how much time they're spending on each task. So yeah, Hubstaff is really good to track employee time. What we use for customer service, so we use Reamaze Help Desk. So sometimes when you post a job posting, especially if you're posting a job posting for customer service, you should put the ticket support system that you use in there as well. And we use Reamaze for customer service. But you only need like a customer service help desk when you're doing like, say like over 50 orders a day. Like if you're doing under 50 orders a day, you can probably just manage it through email and have folders and stuff. But yeah, once you're doing over 50 orders a day, it's probably best to go with a help desk as well. Alright, cool. So if you enjoyed this video, I've actually got way more training on team building for dropshipping in my course, which I just updated. I uploaded 50 new videos to the course, and it's going to be a whole new 2.0 version of the course. So definitely check that out if you want. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, definitely drop a like. If you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel. Turn on the notification bell so you know when I release new videos. I'll try going back to posting YouTube videos once per week. I just got a bit busy the last few weeks, but I will get back to it. So yeah, stay tuned and I'll see you in the next video.